Do you have backup power for emergencies? The power grid here in the U.S. is outdated and at least 2/3 of the grid is 25 years older or more. That's why having your own solar power is more important than ever. With the Patriot Power Generator, you will never be without power. You can take it with you on the go or use it indoors, yet it's powerful enough for your phones, medical devices, or even your fridge. And right now, you can go to 4patriots.com and use the code RTD to get 10% off your first purchase on anything in the store. That even includes the Patriot Power Generator. You'll also get their famous guarantee for an entire year after your order, plus free shipping on orders over $97, and a portion of every sale is donated to charities that support our veterans and their families. Just go to 4patriots.com, use code RTD to get 10% off. That's 4patriots.com, use code RTD to get yours today.
Hello and welcome on June 2nd, 2023. My name is Tom. I'm guest hosting for Andre, and you might know me from doing the hang, or not for Andre. I'm sorry, guest hosting for Mike, and you might know me from doing the hangout with Mike and Andre. So this is going to be my premiere debut as a hopefully somewhat regular guest host. So if you guys are watching, go ahead and drop down in the comments. If you are, tell me where you're from. This show, I don't think I'm going to be able to do any sort of live call-ins unless someone is brave enough to come on video. Then I could probably send a link out. You could DM me on Twitter if that's the case. And if you did DM me on Twitter, just go ahead and drop it in the comments. I'll check my Twitter DMs. So basically tonight, what we're going to be talking about is, in case you haven't heard, I'm sure you have, you guys are a smart audience, the debt ceiling has been raised, but there's a lot of bull crap that's being espoused by the mainstream media and by some less likely culprits, people like Jim Jordan and Marjorie Taylor Greene, touting all these cuts and all this, the historic nature and all of this hullabaloo. And we're going to go through it. It's not true, first of all. Okay, we're not going to go through the debt ceiling. I'm sure you guys are all beat to death with that. We'll do a quick synopsis. I'll hit a few more Rolf Steiner. I don't know if you were speaking to me about this. I don't remember it. Okay, cool. So we'll hit a few quick stories, and basically I just want to touch on what's the bigger picture in all of this, because first of all, we're going to start with this. Okay, give me 1 second here. If you guys didn't know, the original deal, the Limit Save Grow Act that was passed out of the House, it was a $1.5 trillion debt raise, or 1 year, whatever came first. There was a bunch of other requirements, like work requirements for welfare and all kinds of other stuff tied into that bill. But that was supposed to be the starting line. And it became nothing more than platitudes. Okay. The power sharing agreement that happened when McCarthy was put into the speakership. Okay, there was supposed to be a certain level of representation for the Freedom Caucus and the conservative members of the House. So they came together with this Limit Save Grow Act, $1.5 trillion or 1 year, whatever came first. And it's important that 1 year. It wasn't a good bill, but what it allowed was for the Republicans to pass this out of the House, okay? If this were to have been signed into law, it would have proven that this establishment, the Biden regime, and the Democrats are way out of control, because the $1.5 trillion would not have lasted them for 1 year. They would have been back here in March, or they would have been back here probably sooner than that. So that's what everybody thought was going on, right? They thought we had this Limit Save Grow Act, not a perfect bill, but acceptable, right? Everybody goes on break right before Memorial Day, but McCarthy stays behind to have a sleepover with former Vice President Joe Biden. And what did we get? we got 2 years of uncapped spending. And any of these cuts or the automatic 1% decrease in the annual budget for whatever, it's all literally all lies and spin. I don't care how much you like a congressperson. I mean, they're kind of at this point, they're showing their butts here. They're all kind of scumbags, except for the 73 who didn't vote for this monstrosity. But what we came to find out was that Kevin McCarthy, okay, if you look here, Kevin McCarthy was the one that proposed a 2-year debt deal, not Biden. Why did he propose a 2-year debt deal? Because from everything that I'm reading and hearing, it was Kevin McCarthy saying that we can't let it go for just 1 year and come back for another bite at the apple like was originally planned. Because in 1 year, this is Kevin McCarthy's words, in 1 year, we'll be in a weaker position. Now, what does that mean? Well, a lot of people are thinking that it has to do with the primary season. Okay. A lot of people are thinking that it has to do with, you don't want to give MAGA or conservatives too much representation. You don't want to, you don't want to allow the primaries to get in the way of your dirty deals. But what I think is actually happening is something more diabolical. And let's follow this down the conspiracy theory route. Why do they need an unlimited amount of money for 2 years? I mean, we already know that banks are failing left and right. You see here, okay, Fed engages in shocking seasonal adjustments, blah, blah, blah. But this article basically goes on to say that the use of this bank term funding program, it hasn't stopped. It's getting worse. And the Fed's adjusting the numbers away. The Fed can adjust the numbers away all they want. It doesn't make reality any different. Okay. Then while at the same time that our banking system's on fire, you got Jamie Dimon going over, along with Elon Musk, by the way, and we'll get that to a little bit later, going over red-blooded capitalists. Jamie Dimon defends J.P. Morgan's straddling of the U.S. and China. There won't be a decoupling and the world will go on. So what is going on here? What is going on here? Because it seems to me as if all economic indicators point to the fact that the United States is in for a hell of a ride, and the ride's already started. So what on earth would make Kevin McCarthy think that in a year from now, when things get a lot worse, the Republican Party would have a weaker negotiating position? You would think they would be able to say, oh, hey, we gave you 1.5 trillion for 1 year. They blew through it in 10 months or 9 months, and now they're back for more. We need to stop this. So what do McCarthy and former Vice President Joe Biden know that the rest of us don't? I don't know. And I started to think about this a little more. It seems to me it would be a lot harder to wreck an economy on purpose without money than it would be with money. You almost need unlimited capital to destroy and transform this economy in the way that Biden and Obama before him wanted. And I think there is something rotten in Denmark. There's something very, very sneaky afoot. Okay. Because we have reports that even McCarthy was even threatening members. He is threatening members that if they didn't vote on the rule that allowed this bill to come to the House floor without amendments, well, he's gonna possibly deny their bills getting onto the floor. And what bill are we talking about in specifically? The ATF pistol brace rule. Andrew Clyde had a 109 co-sponsors for a bill that would have rescinded this ATF rule that would functionally make estimates between 3 and 30 million Americans felons overnight. McCarthy told him that if you vote against the rule that lets the debt limit bill come to the floor without amendments, your bill's not getting to the floor. And from everything I read, it was on the schedule for this week. Now it's gone. So these are the dirty politics they play. And, it makes me upset. It makes me very upset. I'm not naive. I mean, you expect these things, but you also don't want to become a defeatist, and you don't want to be black-pilled and say, oh, well, this is always going to be this way. This is always going to happen this way. Because it doesn't have to be that way. And I always urge people on my own show to call your Congress people. And what we saw with this bill was more Democrats voted for it than Republicans. More Republicans voted against it than Democrats. And Kevin McCarthy basically had to commit to a power sharing agreement with Hakeem Jeffries, who is the Democrats' House Minority Leader. But he's basically the Speaker of the House at this point. So there's something screwy going on. Why does McCarthy think that in a year from now, they're going to be in a weaker negotiating position? Could it be because, if you remember correctly, Joe Biden, before the 2022 midterms, said point blank that if the Republicans get elected, the economy will crash. And Biden has a strange habit of saying things that later come true, i.e., I don't know, Nord Stream pipeline. So I just thought that was interesting. I don't necessarily have an answer to the question, but something screwy is afoot. And something's even more screwy that he did it so... this whole drama that played out, right? Oh my God, June 1st is coming, blah, blah, blah. We're going to default. First of all, none of that was ever true. Okay. The United States has plenty of money coming in and out. It would take Joe Biden and Janet Yellen purposely refusing to pay bondholders in order for the United States to default. So that was always a lie to scare people, to put pressure on their representatives. But it didn't work. Okay. So then the Republicans passed this bill out of the House, and McCarthy gets in front of the cameras going, we passed a bill and Joe Biden went for 100 days without talking to us and blah, 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 blah. Only for him to have a sleepover with former Vice President Joe Biden on the Friday before Memorial Day. And then all of a sudden, everything changes. What went on in those conversations? What went on? What is happening and what's coming that we need to know about? Because the banks are failing left and right. We're about to have now trillions of dollars in treasuries dropped into the market. Where's the money coming from to buy them? Your bank account? The stock market? Foreign countries? If you look around, the global economy is not doing so great. So where's the money coming from to buy them? It's going to be a giant liquidity suck. So it seems to me like that is the purpose. It seems to me like that could be the purpose, to use these bonds to possibly, that could be the catalyst that destroys the economy. Could absolutely be. I'm going to look at some of these comments real quick. We got MW31 3516405. A lot of comments. Everybody have a good day. We don't make the decisions. Did Saddam Hussein fly a couple of planes in 9/11 waving? All right. That ceiling is a total joke. Like, why even bother? USI is going to be a print. And Yeah, no, look, I get that. I understand. It's not a total joke, though. It's not a total joke because theoretically, we, the people who elected this Congress, should have been in control. It was overwhelming, the support from the grassroots that was going out there to have their back to do the right thing. But they didn't do the right thing, and they did it blatantly. They blatantly just they passed a bill. They passed a bill that everybody said, okay, not great, but we accept it. And then all of a sudden, they just went back and just gave the regime everything, 2 years and unlimited money. Something went on behind closed doors. No, we know something went on behind closed doors, but something was alluded to or threatened by the Biden regime to McCarthy that was more important to him than the risk of losing his speakership. We're going to find out what that was. We're going to find that out what that is. Yeah, but let's get into the next couple things that I see going. And I see this all as a part of a whole, because immediately after this debt ceiling debacle happens, okay? And I see you guys in the comment like, oh, of course, it's the USA. They're going to borrow and they're going to spend. This vote in Congress was probably one of the most consequential votes of this century as far as money is concerned. They just gave a radical, incompetent regime unlimited money. Okay? This vote, whoever voted for it, especially the Republican side, they're going to have to live this down. This will haunt them. This will haunt them. Maybe I'm a political geek. I don't think that everybody follows and studies and analyzes stuff the way I do. I get it. I'm definitely a political geek, but this vote was historic. It was a historic vote, and we will feel the repercussions of this for the rest of our lives, because we just institutionalized all of this criminality. We just institutionalized all of this overspending, this ESG, this Green New Deal, the weaponization of the government. We just institutionalized it. And it's going to take time for people to look back and say, this is the point where everything went over the cliff. The same way with the Durham report. Again, I'm a political nerd. Mike's an economics nerd. But the same way with the Durham report. If we go to World War III with Russia, historically, we're going to look back at the Durham report and say Hillary Clinton was the cause for that, because she set up a fake altercation between Donald Trump, the American people, and Russia that never existed. And now we're here. But anyway, because it's such an historic thing, we have all of this crap being thrown out today and yesterday. We got the United States Air Force saying that an AI took over its drone and killed its pilot to get the pilot out of the way so that the pilot wouldn't be an interruption to the AI, so it could go on and continue to kill. And now they're saying, oh, well, that actually it was a misspeak. And then what else? We got NASA's UFO team has held its first public meeting. Here's what they learned from its experts. We got wait. We got more. Hold on. Just hit the wires. Chris Wray caves to Comer, agrees to hand over documents detailing $5 million bribery allegation. This is all just a shiny toy in front of your face. Just a shiny toy. Chris Wray was always going to comply, otherwise it'd be a constitutional crisis. Understand, these people in Washington, D.C. care more about this interagency process and the idea that there's decorum the idea that there's respect, the idea that everything works, that is their face, saving face. That is far more important to them than the law. And that's the only reason they're just concocting this. Oh my God, Ray's going to comply and nothing will come of it. Nothing will come of it because it's a shiny toy. They distract you from the fact that they just gave the Biden regime a blank check without any way to put it in check. And there's all kinds of this crap going on. I've been seeing these stories all day. And it's like, yeah, I get it. Like, I get it that the Hunter Biden stuff's important. I get it. Chris Wray's important. Yes, I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. It's all important. Okay. But our country's being sold out, right? By the people that we elected to put into office, by Jamie Dimon over there in Beijing. And let's not forget Elon Musk. Everybody wants to hail Daddy Musk, but he's a CCP agent, right? He's a member of the Communist China, not a member of, he is subjugate to the CCP. He goes over there. The interests of the United States and China are intertwined like conjoined twins, said Musk, per the Chinese Foreign Ministry, rejecting proposals that America and the wider West should decouple. The interest of the United States and China. Does that take into account the Chinese people or the American people or just the American deep state and the Communist Chinese Party? I mean, it's an honest question because Elon Musk wants to be over on this side of the pond talking about free speech and American values, but he's not an American. He's from South Africa. So maybe he's an American citizen, but he's an American citizen as much as Rupert Murdoch is. I don't like the idea that he has this outsized influence in Twitter, which has become far too important somehow. And it wouldn't bother me so much if he wasn't doing this Pied Piper routine to lead everybody into their own like digital gulags or something. I don't know what he's doing, but he doesn't care about free speech. That's for damn sure. That's absolutely for sure. He does not. That's absolutely for sure. He doesn't care about free speech. He cares about Elon Musk. And if at any point the communist Chinese and China became more a better fit for him, he would sell us all out in a heartbeat. I mean, Tesla's Elon Musk praises Shanghai workers' amazing work as he wraps up 3-day China trip. Wonder why that could be. Elon Musk praises Chinese workers' long hours, criticizes Americans for trying to avoid work. It seems like a weird trend that Elon Musk, he demands hard work from his employees here in America. I get that. You want to work hard. Nobody deserves a free lunch. If you're in a company, you need to work hard. But I think what he really wants are slaves, basically like they have in China. You can't complain. There's nowhere to redress your grievances. There's no authority to take care of any sort of abuse or misconduct by an employer. And I'm not even for most of those things, but I'm definitely not for suicide nets out of factories in the United States. But China, I mean, Elon Musk seems to be pretty okay with it. Elon Musk criticizes U.S. politicians, but is silent on Chinese human rights abuses. And hey, just in case you don't know, if you've never seen my show, I just bring up headlines just to drive the conversation. I could care less about these mainstream media, rags. I just use it to drive the conversation, and to just to keep myself on topic, more or less. I generally don't do live shows on my own. I generally pre-record. But let me take a break here. Let me check in some of the comments. Karen says, it scares me for what's coming. Yeah, it does. It is scary, but at the same time, it's like it's exciting. I guess maybe I'm a bit of an accelerationist, not in the fact I don't want any bad to come to anybody. I love this country more than anything. I want it to survive. But what I'm saying is I'm an accelerationist insofar as this whole banking mirage and this debt slavery that we're in. That I'm gonna be happy when that ends. Let me look. What else do we got? The American Dream. Elon Musk. Yes, Elon Musk is an African American. That is true. I cannot dispute that, sir. Oh, let's see what Maloney Investments. To raise the debt ceiling or eliminate it means everything will go up as far as price in the US, right? Kind of. Yeah, so it's going to take a while. Like when they start printing a bunch of money, it doesn't immediately hit the consumer. Just the same way as when inflation goes up, wages don't immediately hit the worker. It's all down. First, it's going to go into assets. It's immediately going to go into assets. Once they start printing money to buy, once they start printing bonds to borrow money, it's going to suck a lot of money into bonds, right? And then if the Federal Reserve has to start printing money to lend people to buy bonds, then bonds should go up in value. This is a better question for Mike, but it's a few steps removed. It's definitely a few steps removed. But yeah, eventually it's all inflation. It's inflation because we're taking an obligation and creating dollars out of it. In a very simplified way, that's what's happening. So the amount of money in the system is going up. The government then spends that money. The areas in which the government spends money, those prices go up first. Then if those prices are at all consumer facing, then the consumers will have to pay more. Eventually, yes. Biden 2024, punch it, accelerate. No, sir, I do not agree with that. Former Vice President Joe Biden is, we're on YouTube, so I'm going to leave it at that. But I don't think we need another house plant in the Oval Office. We've already tried that. You got dirt all over the carpets. But yeah, this was just a quick stream. I'm going to be a little more organized next time, hopefully, if everybody liked this enough to come back. Hopefully you did. My channel is The Coming Conflict on Rumble. I do, just news commentary, mainly political, some economic. Of course, me and Mike and Andre do the hangout. We usually do that Wednesdays, but everybody's been a little bit busy lately. But I do appreciate everybody that is watching right now and interacting in the chat. It's cool. I enjoyed it, and hopefully I didn't ramble too much. Next time that I do this, I'm gonna have a little bit more of an outline. I'm gonna do an outline so that I can stay a little more on topic instead of just ramble about politics, because I do have to remember that this is a bit of a different audience than my own. But yeah, if you guys want to follow me, I would really appreciate it. If you have the time, the desire, my link's down in the description. Also, for Mike's sake, leave him a thumbs up, leave a comment, what you loved, what you hated, and if you want me to come back, because ultimately it's up to Mike, but hopefully you guys liked it enough to give me another shot. So with that, I am going to say goodnight. And the next time I come back, I'm going to have a way to take phone calls, because I know that's a big part of my show. That's actually how I started watching them. So next time I'll have a way to take phone calls. So you guys have a blessed night. God bless you all. And I will see you next time.